What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and today I have a little treat, a little queer treat for you. We are going to be Let's do an alternate take. What's up, you whores? I did buy some stuff from Trixie Cosmetics. I have said a lot of things about Trixie Cosmetics on my channel. I have not actually tried anything from the brand. I think that's truthful. What I like about makeup, I like fancier makeup. I love luxury makeup. I love high-end makeup. Trixie's brand just doesn't appeal to me on a personal level, but Trixie Mattel does appeal to me on a personal level. I think she's fabulous. I think she's great. I think in these trying times, supporting queer-owned businesses is really important. And so that's what we've done today. And I'm gonna do mostly a full face. I have some foundation on already. We're gonna jump right into it. So I bought two different bronzers. One I think is on its way out because it was on sale. It was this one. This is the Flower Power Bronzer in the shade Darling Daisy. I just watched all of this stuff off camera just because I was curious. So I did a little swirl to get a good swatch. As you can see, it has 3 sections. It has like a deeper bronzer, a lighter bronzer, and then also kind of like a highlighter section. This was marked down even after their sale that they had at the beginning of the year. So I'm not sure if this one's gonna exist for much longer, but I also grabbed this one. This is the cream bronzer stick. Simple. I'm just gonna say, what a refreshing take on a name, especially coming from a drag queen, for your name to just be like the cream bronzing stick. Cause like if this was Charlotte Tilbury, it would be like Charlotte's darling anus colored blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like it would just be like something like that. Something long, and we would never call it that. Cream bronzing stick, I can get behind, and I have the shade Sunkissed. I do believe is the lightest shade, and was concerned when I bought this online whether or not it would be too orange. It remains to be seen. I did swatch it on my hand. I don't really know. So if you are new to my channel and you love Trixie and you've tried Trixie Cosmetics and you're just trying to like catch a vibe of what I do here, I do sometimes buy makeup for review, but the true focus of my channel is to love my makeup collection as it currently is, while being a little bit cynical and critical of new makeup releases. And I just want to encourage you and myself to use the makeup we own before making a purchase of a new item. But I do reviews like this to get people like you who've never watched my channel before to click in and then see what else I do. So hopefully you'll stick around and hit the subscribe button down below. While you're down there, click the like button too. But also if you're new to my channel, I talk a lot about my bronzer preferences. Bronzer is like one of those things that's really specific to people, like mascara. For me, with someone who has fair skin that's like neutral with a little bit of pink underneath, my bronzers have to be true neutral, or I like them to be a little bit rosy, and then that will look like a natural bronze on me. Anything that has a lot of orange or a lot of yellow or a lot of red is just gonna look a lot of that on my cheek. And I don't really quite like that all of the time. I've had some yellow bronzers and some reddy bronzers that I've really loved in the past. My preference is something a little bit more like rosy pink. And neither one of these are. I do have hope though for the powder one. It does seem like it's a little more neutral than the one in the cream stick. Well, start with the cream stick. I did powder my under eyes, but everything else does not have powder on it. We will powder this side and then try the powder bronzer on top of powder. I want to give everything a fair shot. I didn't mention this yet. This is all first impressions on my face. I don't know what's going to happen. I also tried a new foundation today and I don't know how I feel about it yet. We're going to give all these products grace. This will not be the last time you see them on my channel. This will be not the last time the last time I use them on my face. Stick around if you really want to see, and I will obviously circle back after a while and give you updated thoughts on everything that I talk about in this video. So let's start with Sunkissed. When something comes in a stick like this, I am normally inclined to kind of draw it on my face. I'm not gonna do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because it's heart-shaped. I don't like the shape. I think it's cute. I don't think it's bad. It's cute. I think it could work as like just, you know, just drawing it on, but I'm gonna, well, how about this? We'll draw it on first on this part of my cheek, and then up here, I will apply it with the brush, and we'll just see what it looks like to see if it's different. So this will be a real test of how blendable it is. I did not put any contour down. That's looking pretty orange. Let's blend it out. Let's see what it looks like blended out. I'm scared. It looks really orange. It's not feeling as orange, but did I blend it all the way? Is my question here. If I wasn't doing this video and I wasn't trying to display the color of this on my skin, this is where I would stop with bronze. I'm actually very satisfied with how much this has done on one application, but I know on camera sometimes with the lights that are, you can't really see what color it is, but, and I'll zoom you in, but it's actually very skin-like. But I'm gonna apply another layer. I don't see any foundation on the stick, which is also very promising. It does feel like it applies right away and there's no need to like warm it up, which whenever it comes to a stick product that you're applying directly to your face, that is something certainly to consider. I have facial hair, which I'm sure not very many of the people who watch my channel and take my advice on makeup have facial hair. I feel like it looks, if I were to like look at just right here, it's actually a really gorgeous formula and it has actually a really beautiful finish. I think it's meeting the foundation where it's at. This is a new foundation to me, so I don't know if it's glowy or not, but it looks really good and natural and very seamless, which sometimes with cream bronzer doesn't happen. I do feel like it looks orange right on the perimeter where it goes into my facial hair. But like I said, that's like most people who are using this product. Most of my channel is women, and not that some of you women might not have facial hair. It's always hard to blend things through the beard, but I think that the raw edge really made it look more orange. Define the cheek. I think it's pretty. Let's talk a little bit about the component while we're here because I love to talk about components. It is really cute. There's no magnetic component. I feel like a lot of the stuff I use these days have like a magnetic component whenever it's like this, but there is a little ridge here that it does like click into place. This is something that would bother some of you and not all of you. Most of you are going to want to turn it until the heart comes all the way up, and that might be too much. Does that make sense? Like turning it so that everything is aligned in the component so that the heart's aligned. I don't know if that will bother all of you, but it does also need to be aligned to put the cap back on. And if this was a circular product, you wouldn't have that issue. It's a very specific design. I don't love that because a lot of the times when I'm putting on my makeup, I want to have to twist it back down or twist it back so it's aligned so that I can then put the cap on. And it's a really nitpicky thing. It's just something like if you are someone who's doing your makeup on the go and you know that that's going to bother you, just something to know. But it is really cute. I love the yellow of it. Accessibility wise, I'm not really sure when it comes to products like this. I feel like if you could do that with your hand, you could get it open pretty easily. Cap side is a little bit longer, but not much. So if you need to like have a little more grip, you might need something to assist you in opening it. I'm just pointing out things for accessibility. I'm not someone who knows a lot about accessibility, but I do try to mention it on my channel when things are hard to open or like what it's like to open them. There's no weight and it's not super heavy, which I think will be a pro to some of you and a con to some of you. And yeah, it is a plastic component. If there's one thing that Trixie succeeds at is making cute packaging. Okay, so for the next application, which I'm gonna do like, you know, up here on I'm gonna take some product just like this and put it on the brush and tap it in up here. And I probably would do this most times when applying this bronzer. I was not expecting to like this product. I don't want to announce that going into it. I did fear trying Trixie Cosmetics that I wasn't going to find anything that I liked. We talked a lot about it in the comments, meaning like what I should buy from the brand. I don't have to buy everything from the brand, which is truthful because I did not buy an eyeshadow palette. I bought eye products, but not a palette. But I did appreciate that reminder. So that's what it looks like. No powder or anything like that. I don't know where my spoolie went. Oh, where is my spoolie? Did any of you watch VeggieTales as a child? Only veggie heads will understand. I wasn't trying to come in here with any ill will. As I said at the beginning, I really love Trixie. I love her work in other capacities. This is a luxury formula. A little lovely find. Everything was pretty reasonably priced, and I did find a promo code online, and I think my total was like about $130 for all of the stuff you're about to see. And I pretty much have a full face. And I bought 2 bronzers, but surprise, I brought 3 bronzers because for some reason I added 2 of these to the cart, which at first I was like, I'm really bummed that I did that because I don't think I'm gonna like that product. I do, but also I still don't need to. Based on this first impression of it, at least I will feel like giving that product to someone else. I will be like, that's actually very good. I'm gonna powder my whole face because the rest of the face is gonna be powder products. And then we will try the powder bronzer. I am testing this foundation for the first time today, and you can check the description box to see what foundation I'm trying. I love the way this looks so far. We'll see what happens. So now let's talk about this one. I do think that this one might be getting discontinued, or maybe it's getting like revamped in some fashion, because I think this was like half off or something. This is a nice, big, lovely compact. If you're a fan of big bronzers, you might enjoy this. When I look at this, I'm not gonna lie to you, Trixie, if you're listening, or anyone who works at Trixie Cosmetics, if you're listening, this split pan thing for bronzers, I really hate. If you're gonna do a bronzer palette for multiple people, I would prefer separate pans, because I'm never gonna like put a brush in there to get just that highlighter or either one of these two other bronzer shades. It's just not something I'm gonna do. Other people might. And if you wanted to make a shimmery bronzer, I just would have appreciated it all being mixed into one product and then maybe a smaller compact, but that's me. I don't know that I love this huge compact for a bronzer. I had the Tom Ford bronzer when it used to come in the jumbo size, and while it felt very luxurious, and this certainly feels like a full moment for sure, I did get rid of it because it was like big and bulky and it didn't fit in my drawers very well, and I think that would be the same case for this. So just something that I'm pointing out. But let's talk about the packaging. It is really lovely. It feels pretty weighty, but I think that is probably for the amount of product that's in here. You get 15.34 grams of product, and that is a ton of bronzer. It would take me forever to get through this, which if I was a performing drag queen using this as a bronzer, or someone who needed to put on a lot of bronzer for like performing or whatever, that would be very generous, but I'm a one person. So I'm just a consumer, I probably want that much. I'd probably want about like 10 grams of product just for me, and something in a smaller compact. It's this beautiful yellow. They are the same yellow. And actually this front art, I'm not really sure how they did this. It is a little bit elevated. So like when I run my finger on it, I can feel a little bit of texture, and there's some gold leaf things happening in there. It's actually quite lovely. This is the shade Darling Daisy in the Flower Power Bronzer. I'm just going to swirl my brush in there and apply. I'm not really going to try to like seek out each shade. That's what I would do. If for some reason you explicitly would like for me to, at some point on camera, try all three individually, I can do that. That's not my inclination when I look at this product. My inclination is to like take my bronzer brush and just kind of swirl around. Ooh, oh, it's soft. Oh, it's soft. It picked up a ton of product. Okay. I normally tap off my brush. I just was expecting this to be, I guess, a little bit firmer. That was surprising. I'm actually just gonna like start going on the back of my hand to see how pigmented it is, to see how scared I have to be. It actually seems like it has a pretty lovely pigmentation, blended pretty seamlessly in, even with all that product. So, okay, pop off, queen. I'm just gonna tap it a little bit. Okay, so it's blending really nicely into the skin. I feel like it has a beautiful finish, but I did swirl all three of them together, looking very skin-like. It's not looking super powdery on the skin. I will say mixing them all together makes it a little more orange than this side, so I am liking the color of this side better. I would have to imagine that it's the deepest color in here that I'm not really like loving, that's adding to the mix. It's not like a bad color, but it's just a more of an orange bronzer than I would be into. So I'm going to tap just into the lighter shade in like the highlighter, and I'm going to apply that up here to see if I like the shade any better with just those two. So I do. Can you tell how much? It's also a lot lighter. So see how dark it and like orangey it is here, and then up here, it's more skin tone like for me. It looks a little more natural as a bronzer. This feels a little more makeup-y than the cream bronzer. I do feel like cream bronzers tend to look more natural on the skin, but I think that she did a really good job with this color. I really didn't think I was gonna like it at all. I'm not like entirely unpleased with what's happening on this side of my face. It's just like a little more orange. It's a little more intense with one product. It gives you more options, but I don't know. This is really my speed. This really isn't, but I do like that. Basically, kind of how I'm feeling now is that, I don't know, I would say that's more than 1/3 of the product is something that I wouldn't really care to use. Something to keep in mind, but that's just on my skin tone and how I feel about it personally. You might like a warmer bronze than me and have the same skin tone as me, and that's okay. We're allowed to have different things. That's why I'm demoing on me, so we can all make our own decisions. I think it's a good formula. It's just that color I don't really care for. I think everything else about it is pretty beautiful. What I would like to see is maybe if you were just gonna make a matte bronzer, just make a matte bronzer and make a choice. I don't care for palettes, and like kind of disguising one pan of product as a palette, in my opinion, especially when it comes to like a face product like this, is like kind of annoying. I don't really care for it. I am gonna take some of the deeper shade and just like tap it back here to add some balance to what's going on both sides of my face. If you prefer the kind of bronzers I prefer, then I would go with the cream. It's very simple, but I already forgot it. The cream bronzer stick. I think it's lovely. Is there a bigger name? Bâton de crème boisson. I'm having more thoughts. It's all coming to me. I like this. I think of any stick bronzer, like actual stick bronzer I've ever used, I like it more than the Westman Atelier one, color-wise, and I think formula-wise. I think I like it more. I certainly like it more than the one from Merit. I love it more than the one, oh, the milk one. This was so much better than the milk one. So I think this is a winner. Allure, someone call Allure. Does anyone know the number for Allure? I'll give him a call. I'll put in a good word for you, Trix. This feels like a little more dime a dozen to me when it comes to formula, but it is cute. We are now to something I'm a little bit nervous to put on my face, but the color. Stick with me, the color. What I'm about to show you is certainly not made for my skin tone, but the color is so good. So I did buy one of the powder blushes. The cream blushes, and maybe there is a cream blush for me that Trixie has formulated that is a little more deceiving. I'm more of like basic when it comes to blush, and I love a brown. I love a brown blush. And Trixie has a brown blush, which I think is so bananas. But I do recall on her videos, she was like very into brown blush at one point. But I think this came out before she did. So this is, I don't know if this is permanent. There's a lot of collections on Trixie's website, and I'm not really sure what stays and what goes. A lot was marked down. Like a lot of the eyeshadow palettes were marked down quite a bit. Like the bronzer was marked down. This wasn't marked down, so maybe this is a permanent. This is the Cult Classic Blush. I guess I didn't realize this whenever I bought it. I don't remember seeing it in the description, but it probably was there. I was just going off vibes whenever I was buying stuff. There is a shimmer in here, which I wasn't fully expecting, but I'm okay with it. You know I love brown blush. You know I love a brown blush. I was at Sephora with my friend the other day. She's like sort of into makeup, but not into the way that I'm into makeup. And I was like swatching blushes, and she was like, why do you keep swatching only brown blushes? And I was like, that's who I am. It's what I'm about, my passion. If Trixie is a passionate makeup artist and passionate about cosmetics, I'm passionate about brown blush. So it's so happy to find a brown blush on a website run by a person who's passionate about makeup artistry and makeup. Hopefully we have something good here. Now, I have maybe tried one of these. I know Tiff has a blush palette from Trixie Cosmetics. I don't think they make that one anymore, but it was very purple and not really there anymore. So I'm very excited to try it. I'm a little bit nervous because it is deep. This is very clearly made for someone with a deep complexion. We might be able to make it work by just applying a little bit less. I think what I want to do is go in with a little brush, a BK 112. Ooh. And give it a go, Joe. So the sparkles are a little bit cool leaning. They're like a silvery, and then the blush, I would say the brown is like a little bit warmer. Oh yeah, I think I should be able to make this work. So I'm gonna start my application towards the back of my cheek, like right here. I'm just gonna pounce it and then I'll blend it out. Okay, I'm wiping off the excess product that was still on the brush. That way when I'm blending, I'm not adding more pigment and I'm just blending it out. I applied too much powder. I'm taking my powder brush and blending out the edges a little bit more without adding any more. Okay, so here's what the product looks like. Definitely more blush than I usually wear, but we're playing with a drag brand. I'm okay with it. Also, it'll help give you an idea, especially if you have a skin tone similar to mine. This might be too much for you, but oh, is that pretty? Now, it definitely is warmer than I was wanting it to be. Much like my bronzers, I love my brown cosmetics to be cool leaning or neutral. There's a little bit of warmth in there, but I think that's when you're thinking about a blush, that really works. I think it's really pretty, and this is certainly, I think, a color that is hard to find in a regular, like something at Sephora. You're not going to find something like this. I don't see glitter particles on my face, so the shimmer in there is really just adding a sheen. I think the sheen, it's kind of like my favorite thing. Okay, so something that I love whenever someone does like a powder blush is like a warm tone to the base color and then a sheen that is like the opposite. So like warm base, or like a warm brown with like a silver sheen top. I think that's what we got here. It's like very, very pretty. I'm going to try to like reel it in on the other side, which I know doesn't really make sense because I'm going to have to like make it balance, but I'm going to see if I can get a little bit lighter of an application, tapping off a little more than I did last time. Oh yes. Okay, I think I did a much better job applying it on this side. I think I needed to tap off more because it's looking just like a little more skin-like over here, in my opinion. Like it's just looking like it's like blending a little bit better than it did on this side. This side's just a little more intense, so very pretty. Very right up my alley when it comes to like a blush shade. Ooh! And if you are new to my channel, if you want to get a good idea for the kind of blushes I like, I would just go watch my last declutter and then go to the blush section and look at the blushes I keep. My collection is not super large, but I spend forever talking about each product because I love makeup and I love touching base with the makeup I already own. So in my declutters, it's not like I declutter a bunch. It's like just talking about the makeup I already have. So that would give you a really good idea. And I also think I'm going to bring back eye for an eye, but it's going to just kind of be like verses. So like I'll put the Trixie stuff up against stuff that I already own and just kind of show you the difference and talk about the differences in formulas just to give you a better idea. But like, I don't know, that's hot. I love that blush. It almost has a little bit of a bruisey quality. If there was like a skosh more purple in it, can you see the vision? Imagine a little more purple in it. Oh my God, it would be like the perfect blush. Well, my perfect blush, not the perfect blush for everyone. I am a freak like that. I like my blush to look a little bit bruisey. What a find, Miss Trixie. Even though this is like cardboard packaging, it is very cute. I like it. Trixie, did you and Kimchi fight that she got the plastic heart-shaped compacts before you? And you couldn't make your brand look too much like hers? Let me know in the comments. Did that piss you off? I'm just curious. But I do think I prefer the cardboard packaging. I've interacted with one of those heart-shaped compacts and I find them hard to open. Speaking of hard to open, this is really easy to open. There is a magnetic closure to it. It's not a super strong magnet. Maybe you wouldn't want to throw this in your purse. And there are some ridges there for you to be able to get your hands in there and easily open it. This is going so much better than I was expecting it to go. The next product I bought because, well, it reminded me of a lot of things, but it's like not my style of highlighter. And it is the Cold Shoulder highlighter. And I think this just launched with the Apres ski collection that she released. It's this. Get into that sparkle. So it looks really intense and it looks like it's gonna be an eyeshadow, and I did swatch it and it's not an eyeshadow. Well, it could be an eyeshadow for sure. I think it'd be a really pretty eyeshadow actually. It reminds me a lot of Skin of a Killer from Bella Beauty Bar actually, and if I were to put on like a highlighter right now to like compare it to, Skin of a Killer would be the one I would pick out from Bella Beauty Bar. Trixie, if you haven't tried Bella Beauty Bar, get on that shit. Go seek out some Bella Beauty Bar because that shit rocks. Actually, blend it out very, very softly. It's not so scary, but I do think like when you're swatching it on your finger and you're getting like a very dense swatch, like it's pretty scary. Like when I do that, do you see how like sheer it is? I could build it up like that. That's not how I would wear it though. And it blends out quite easily. There is a glitter in it. It's a glittery highlighter, so it's not for the faint of heart. I have been more open to glittery highlighters recently. And more open to, not entirely open to. I also think this is a little more cool than everything else I have going on my face. So I'm not really sure if the contrast is going to be too much, but we're here to have fun. It's just makeup. We wash it off at the end of the day. I'm gonna use this brush from Sigma. It's the Sigma Tapered Highlighter. I'm gonna pick up as little as I possibly can. Now, I would use my Sonia G highlighter brush, but I don't want to get it too sparkly because I want to keep using that with more subtle highlighters, and I don't want all the glitter to get into those highlighters. So, okay, here we go. I'm scared. They knew. They knew meaning me. Me being the they, them that I'm referring to. They knew. I knew. Okay, so I used my Sigma switch to kick off some of the product to try to blend this in. So what happened at first is I think I smacked off a little bit of too much of the product and it only applied glitter. And now this time I think I got like a more even disbursement. Here's the thing with really glittery highlighters and on camera. On camera, it looks so wet, like so wet. And it almost looks like it's one with the skin because like I don't know what the cameras do with the feedback of the glitter sometimes, but like I feel like it's a lot harder to see and it looks really good on camera. It does look very festival-y to me in real life. I'm gonna do Sparkle Cam real quick, but on my face, which I don't normally do. So let me turn off the lights and turn on my phone so you can see the chunks of glitter. I do want to compare it to Skin of a Killer, not in this video. I will do it soon though. How about I'll promise you sometime in the next week or two that I'll do the Versus video and I'll pull out Skin of a Killer, both the highlighter version and the eyeshadow. It is gorgeous. It's like fun. It's fun. At this point in my life when it comes to highlighter, I'm looking for something a little more elegant, but this is really fun for like if you do go to festivals and stuff, this would be really great for that. The base highlighter, like what's underneath the glitter, is really, really lovely and flattering. It's just the glitter that I'm not like super into. I would wear this as an eyeshadow, no problem. I don't know, maybe I'm into it. I don't know, I'm coming around to it. So don't take my distaste for the glitter as like, I think it's bad. It's just like not to my taste. Not at first, but after I blended it out, it dispersed the glitter pretty evenly, even though it's chunky and sparse. Sometimes with these really glittery highlighter products, the glitter doesn't really disperse very well and it all kind of stays right where you put on impact, but I do feel like it blended really well. And I do feel like for the most part, the glitter stayed where I blended the brush and is like not running away, which sometimes can happen with glitter, just get run away. This is the least in my taste, but I still think it's pretty good. I still think that the powder bronzer is my least favorite thing so far. Just checking in. I bought some eye products, which is why I have you so far zoomed in right now. And we're gonna get really out of my comfort zone, okay? I don't do a lot of eyeliner. And it's just mostly because it's like really annoying to do on camera. For me, I don't do it very often. So unlike Trixie, I can't just like throw it on and like be very comfortable doing that on camera. But we're gonna try. I bought both eyeliners. Trixie, do you just like not put like the long form name of them? I'm fairly certain these are called the Hotline eyeliners. So I have the black and the white. I think the only kind of thing I said about Trixie Cosmetics in A Critical Sauce is that I was very excited about this white eyeliner and I also bought the black one. So I also have like a liquid shadow for us to play with in a second. I think what I want to do is like a double liner. I'm going to do black on the bottom and then I'm going to do like a little thin line of white on top. And I'm not going to talk through that, but what I will say before we jump too far into it, I think these are glass. Yeah, they're glass components with a plastic lid. And I did swatch them, like I said, before I filmed this video. This black one is really creamy, dreamy, and highly, highly pigmented. Kind of like everything you want. And a lot of times with gel formulas, I find them to be like really thick, but this is almost like a balm. I'm curious to see how a brush goes in there, but I have another gel eyeliner that when I put a brush in, it just like kind of crumbly. I don't know how else to describe it, but like I feel like this is gonna to pick up on a brush differently. While swatching, the white one was not super pigmented. And I know that Trixie uses this product. Her white always is super thick. Now I know that the white pigment makes things chalky. And that's why like whites come, I don't know, white is really hard to do. I'm thinking that's what's going on there, but we'll give it a go. We'll start with the... Should we start with the white? Because I'm going to use the same brush for both. Oh, there's already product on this brush. I'm not going to prime my eyes at all today with this brush, at least. It's going on quite well. I believe that this is a natural hair brush. It's super, super thin. Let me get into this, the nitty-gritty of this. I don't really do a lot of gel eyeliner, so I don't have a lot of points of reference. I haven't tried a ton of formulas. It is building up to an opaque white. Once it starts drying, and I do feel like it dries pretty quickly, which I think could be a benefit to some and a detriment to some others. I think with eyeliner, I need a little more playtime than this is providing me to just kind of like make sure it's right. And whenever I put a little bit more on top, It tugs a little, which I'm not like a super big fan of. And I'm just trying to like get it a little more opaque, but not change the shape. It's just like a little bit tacky feeling. So my plan is to do like a black line underneath this. And I am a little bit concerned about the way that's going to feel, but that's what it looks like so far. I don't know if my makeup artistry / eyeliner skills are going to be strong enough to bring this home on both eyes, but we'll see. We'll see. You know who's not a fan of symmetry? Trixie Mattel. She says she is, but I've seen her work. Me throwing shade to a world famous drag queen being like, and your makeup's garbage, but her makeup's not garbage. If she still did her makeup like she did in season 7 of Drag Race, it would be a different story. Her makeup used to really, ooh. But not everyone's makeup couldn't always be good. I really like the eye shape she does now. I mean, it's still exaggerated and like kind of bonkers. I think what she's doing right now is like really, really pretty. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to try to do the black liner on top of it. We're just going to, by the grace of God, it'll be good. Okay. I just want to pause for a second and be like, I did that, okay? That's so fierce. I'm so scared that I'm not going to be able to do this on the other eye. The black was a lot easier to work with. It's a little bit creamier, and I feel like that creaminess made it easier and gave me that extra time that I feel like the white one wasn't really giving me to really do what I wanted. I feel like with the white one, I was at the mercy of what the white wanted to do, and the black one, I felt like I had a lot more control over. I do think that has to do with it being white and the amount of white pigment in it. It makes it hard to work with, but I was able to build it up to something opaque. So I can't really complain about it. Like, I do think like it looks good. I might do a little more white on top to see if I can clean up a little bit, but the white is definitely less pigmented than the black. Out of my usual comfort zone, as far as like what I do in makeup, I don't do a lot of wings anymore. Especially like something graphic where I have like 2 layers of it, but I'm very pleased with it. And like the thing was, I was able to do it with these products. A bad product would have not allowed me to do it at all with the skill set I have for this kind of thing. I really commend at least the black one, but like also the white one kind of slaps. I really love this. So I'm going to try to mimic this eye on this eye with my skill set. If it's bad, you keep that shit to yourself, okay? Okay, I can't fuss over this anymore. It is what it is. For some eyeshadow, I bought this. It's the Stay the Night Shimmer Topper, and this is in the shade Apres She. So my plan is just to kind of like blend this above my little eyeliner moments. I will try at one point putting it directly on my eye, but I don't feel like doing that today, and that's not really how I like to use liquid shadow. So I applied a little bit of the liquid shadow to my mixing palette, and I'm just gonna go right on top of what I did and then blend it out from there. Oh wow, that's really pretty. It looks so gold in there. And I feel like on my eye, you're getting a lot of like the beautiful reflect. Okay, I'm into that. And so far, I'm not getting that like burny sensation that I normally get from a liquid shadow, but I'm only applying it to a very specific part of my eye right now. So TBD on if that will hold true in the long term. Oh yeah, I love this, actually. That's a slay. I messed up my eyeliner on this eye, but this eyeliner was already messed up. What I'm gonna do is myself a favor, and you, zoom you back out. I bought this as a duo. This is the lip liner in Fashionably Late and then the lipstick in HR Honey. So I'm going to remove the lip product I have on now to apply this. Here's the lip liner. It is a wooden pencil. Thank you, Trixie, for making it a wooden pencil and not making it plastic and making it a twist up. I hate twist up lip liners. Really interesting. It glides on really beautifully. It's like very creamy to apply. And then when I went back with my finger to like blend out the line, one, it had already set, which I think if you like a strong lip line, that's going to be a really big pro to you. And it also leads me to believe that this probably has incredible longevity, just the way it's set kind of like immediately. I don't love that for me because I do, whenever I wear lip liner, I tend to like to buff out the lip line. So I do prefer something that's going to allow me to buff it out. But it is actually a pretty, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like when you first apply it, it's almost like sticky. I drew over one of my mustache hairs and it got stuck in the formula on my lips, not on the pencil. It's really pigmented. And I was able to blend it out. It just took more effort than I wanted to. This is for people who like a strong lip line or get a lip liner that's close to the color of your lips. If you're looking for something natural, this is not a lip liner for just like anything. I think this is a serious lip liner. Very serious lip liner. For a drag performer, that makes a lot of sense. For me, as like a consumer, I'm not sure how much sense it makes. For me and my preferences. The lipstick has like a nice kind of like sweet vanilla smell. So it took a while to get it going, but once it warmed up a little bit on my lips, it was pretty easy to apply. And I do think it's very, very pigmented. It just like took a second. It's a pretty thick formula, I would say, but it's also really sturdy because I was pressing really hard and the edges are okay. Like it didn't press up against the side of the bullet, and it's actually like quite close to the bullet. Like it's very tight in there. There's like no wiggle room for the product. This color is really pretty. It's a little bit warm for me and what I prefer in my browns. Why is this so dark? My settings like changed on my camera on its own. I don't know what it did. So if I've been dark this whole video, I'm so sorry. I just realized that it was dark. It's a very sturdy, fully pigmented matte lipstick. It's pretty good, I would say, so far. This isn't like my favorite kind of a lipstick, but if you're into a matte bullet lipstick, this feels like a very high quality one, and the pigmentation is really there. These dark colors can be hard for brands to do for some reason, but it's not patchy at all. It did take like a couple times over to get it to full pigmentation. Now that it is fully pigmented, it's like quite lovely. Actually, that's everything on my face. Let's do a little bit of like how am I feeling now? Love the cream bronzer. Love it. Love it. Love so much about it. The powder bronzer, not as in love with. I just wish we made a decision about what the color was supposed to be like. The blush, I love it. I love it. I had to be careful with it. I do think I could get carried away with it, but I was able to make it really work for me. The highlighter is cute. It's not to my taste. I do really want to wear it as an eyeshadow. I think it'll be really pretty as an eyeshadow. Not all hope is lost for me and my purposes of that product, but as it stands right now, it's not a highlighter I could see myself using as a highlighter very often. The eyeliners I think are very good. Remember that this is not my usual gig doing graphic liner. I'm hoping this inspires me to be a little more playful with like eyeliner. So TBD on like whether or not it makes me more playful with liner. I do think the black one was much easier to use than the white one. On the first eye, everything went really swimmingly with both products. So I think they're good. I just don't know that I'm the best judge of these for you to be like ho-hum about how they apply, but they seem to be holding up on my eyelids quite well, and my eyelids were oily when I applied them, so they're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Look at I can't with the eyes. Okay, and the eyeshadow I do need to play with a little bit more and play with it in a couple different ways, but like look at it. It's really pretty. And I think swatching it on my hand, like doing a full thick swatch of it, isn't going to tell the whole story because I like a blended eyeshadow. So that's the full story to me. And it is really, really freaking pretty. So I'll have to report back on longevity on the eyes to see how well it holds up. But for right now, for the purposes of like a first impressions, it's really great and I really like it and I'm very into it. But I did apply a very thin layer and blended it out pretty quickly. And that's how I like to apply liquid eyeshadows, is just very thin layers. Thin, because otherwise you might get those like alligator scaly things that sometimes happens with liquid shadows. So big fan of that. Can't wait to try that again. Like I'm actually very excited to get back into that. And then the lip products. The lip liner, I don't think it's my favorite formula of lip liner, but I see its purpose. Like it's very specific and I think it does what the owner of the brand, Trixie, wanted it to do. It was like full pigmentation, creamy on the lips, which I did love, but then like kind of hard to blend out, which I didn't love. But Trixie does like a harsh lip line. So the idea of a product being made for her, this feels like very Trixie and not very like me in the way I do my makeup. The lipstick, at first when I applied it, I wasn't really sure because I haven't worn like a fully pigmented matte lipstick in a really long time, but I really like it. It is like a little on the warm side of my preferences when it comes to brown lipsticks, but I love a brown lipstick and I'm very pleased with this. I think this is really great. No notes actually with the lipstick. Just the color is like not 100% dead on of like what I would have wanted, but the color did not promise to be something. The color is the color it was supposed to be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little dive into Trixie Cosmetics. I actually had a lot of fun. This really went so much better than I was expecting it. There was like a lot more hits and a lot of things that I feel like I can learn my way to love, like the eyeliners. I think the only real dud for me was the powder bronzer. Who would have thought? Not to disparage another drag queen's makeup brand. I did try Kimchi Cosmetics a while ago, and that felt not as well formulated as the stuff I tried from this. Of course, I didn't try the powder eyeshadows, so take what I say with a grain of salt. It all feels formulated in a very thoughtful way. It's actually all very good so far. So I'm so impressed. I'm actually so delighted to report back to you. I was actually very scared of trying this brand because one, I think there's going to be more people watching this video than usual just because of people who love Trixie. Placing your fandom of Trixie onto like the cosmetic, you know, I don't know. There's a lot that goes on whenever people really love a brand owner, and I've experienced negativity in that way. Not like a ton, but like Trixie's fans are a little bit different. So I'm actually very pleased, and I'm not stretching the truth just because I was like scared. I would always tell you the truth. I really think that a lot of this was very lovely, and I have heard from some other people that the powder eyeshadow palettes are like not their favorite thing, but like there's a lot to love here. And it does feel like a lot of love was put into this. And I think that's great. And it's very fun. It's very cute. And I can't wait to wear some of this all over again. Like I cannot wait to wear the cream bronzer again. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. But if you're not already subscribed to my channel, like I said earlier, I really try to focus on loving my collection first and foremost. But if I am trying to buy anything for brand reviews this year, I'm trying to buy from smaller brands or independent brands. And that's why Trixie was chosen to do this first impressions. I will report back on these later after I've done some more thorough testing with you. But despite this eye, really enjoy the makeup I did today. And I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. So in my pinned comment down below, there will be links to support some causes that I really believe in. There's links to support people over in Gaza. There are some links to help people with the LA fires. There's also a link to donate to an organization here in Pittsburgh that's near and dear to my heart. It's Sisters Pittsburgh. Sisters Pittsburgh is a Black trans-led organization that helps trans people in Pittsburgh, helps displaced trans people, it helps people get the things that they need as trans people. And right now it's really hard to find resources for that. And that's an organization that's doing a lot of good in my area. So if you could donate to any of those causes, please do that. I also have a Patreon and channel memberships. I do one additional video over there every month. Please check that out if you're interested, but if you're not, no worries. Or if you don't want to do that, no worries. I'm just happy that you are here liking, commenting, and sharing my content. That wraps up this video officially. Remember to follow your hoe and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. Tits out. That was so exciting. I can't believe it. That went so well. Okay. Wow. Unbelievable.